Well, I'm sure you've noticed it, and it's not a brand new problem. It's clearly been around for years. I remember my son, who's a senior in college, talking about how many kids were vaping when he was in high school and how some of them were brazenly doing it right in their classroom by blowing it back up into their sleeves. I remember him telling me that story. So this has been going on for a while. At what point is it a overlooked crisis, though, because nobody talks about it? Mark Schillinger is joining me this morning. He's a stress management expert. He's co-founder of a nonprofit working with teenagers. Mark, welcome into the show.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Give me your thoughts on these latest reports of the number of high schoolers who are vaping and some of the problems with that.
Well, as you mentioned, I started this nonprofit, Young Men's Ultimate Weekend. It's a rite of passage event for young men, 13 to 20. So I mentor over the years thousands and thousands of young men. And it's just like you said in your introduction. Vaping is growing so fast, and there's so many reasons for it. But basically, the marketing is intense. They're marketing this to young people, and it's just very sexy to them. It's cool. It's a device that's easy to hide. It looks like some sort of hip tech device. Of course, it's being marketed now in flavors, and so it's like a drug to them. And because it's great for social connection, it's very cool to have it. And of course, they're being told that it's less harmful than cigarettes. So it's really becoming more and more popular. There's some reports say that up to a third of teenagers are now vaping. And of course, as we know, vaping is very intense. It's a stimulant, so it's very alluring to young men because for a few hours anyway, it helps improve their attention, their mood, their memory, their fine motor skills. It's very similar to the high that they get from video gaming. So it's very alluring, but of course they don't know the dangers of vaping.
Yeah, I wonder why we haven't done more as a society to kind of point that out. Because I remember when I was growing up, the big all the messaging was anti-cigarette, anti-nicotine, the dangers of smoking. I see some of those PSAs running on TV right now, but this one seems to maybe have not gotten the attention it deserves.
Well, here's what I think, honestly. I think that we live in a culture that's not really supporting families, let alone young people, and especially teens, on how to live a healthy, happy, and resilient lifestyle. They're so overwhelmed now, more than when you were a kid or I was a kid, or even when it sounds like your son's through college, even when he was, younger, even just 5 or 10 years ago. The marketing is so intense. There's over-the-top entertainment and consumerism, and they're just being bombarded with ads on this stuff, and their brains don't have a prefrontal cortex that's fully developed, so they don't make good decisions all the time. As we know, they love to explore, so this is very alluring to them.
Yeah, we're talking to Mark Schillinger, by the way, who works with a lot of teenagers. He's a stress management expert. I wonder for parents who maybe will see a kid doing this and think, well, it's just a trend. They're going to grow out of this. Obviously, some of these have nicotine, some of them don't. Some of them have flavoring and additives added to them, and you have no idea where those came from, right?
That's exactly right. Not only is vaping for a teen brain horrible, just from the nicotine, but as most of you listeners already know, there's been so many studies that are coming out that saying all the other chemicals that are put in there, most of them that promote addiction, are literally dangerous for anybody. So these are horrible products that are being sold to our children.
So clearly you have an opportunity to talk to these teens directly.
Yep.
Do they struggle with kicking this problem as much as somebody might have trouble stopping cigarette smoking?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yes. First of all, it's important to know that teens suffer from stress and anxiety and depression just as much as adults. I know it's hard for some parents to get that because we're the ones doing all the work and making the money and providing everything for them, but teens are stressed out. First of all, they need to have a mentor. Now I'm a mentor. Even though I'm a doctor, I consider myself a mentor. The first thing is that these teens need to have somebody to talk to about it because they find that usually their parents can't do much, don't say much, and usually by the time a teen is 13, 14, 15, they've already got all their wisdom from their parents, so they need somebody else to talk to about it. That's really, really important. And when they talk to me about it, I discover the deeper reasons why they do it, and then we try to substitute healthy behaviors. I create lifestyles for them that allow them to get the high, so to speak, all naturally. And the main thing that I do, honestly, is I teach them a simple mindfulness-based stress reduction technique that literally just takes a few seconds so they can control their own brain chemistry, get away from the dopamine addiction that they're getting attached to, and they learn to secrete endorphins so they can relax themselves very quickly.
Interesting. So, Mark, for people who want to access some of those resources, do you have any advice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, you can contact me through my nonprofit, which is Young Men's Ultimate Weekend. If you email us at info@YMUW, one of the things you'll see on the website is a free report, 4 Secrets to Help Your Son Grow Up. And it has a lot of information on there on how to deal with teen problems, including vaping. And, of course, there's tons of information that parents can research on the Internet on how to help teens stop vaping.
Good stuff there. Mark Schillinger, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. Happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays.